Today about a case taking in different types of cases. Anemone has a classified disease on the basis of cases into acute and chronic. The disease process by an exerting causes is known as acute, whereas disease manifests as a result of fundamental cause in known chronic disease. These diseases differ in their onset, progress, durations, and in outcome. Therefore, the scheme of case taking should also different in acute and chronic cases. The physicians must be alert to recognize the ranges of the life threats, triggered acute, urgent, non-emergent to plans case taking and management. First cases is acute cases. Acute cases are defines disease which begins suddenly, progress faster, runs defense force, and finally ending either with a recovery or death. They are caused by an exiting cause and acute measures. The acute measures comes in ages with sufficient volumes to cases, deaths of the patients or with less volumes, wherein there is a periods of progress in generated to recovery. While attending to the acute case, the physician should limit his inquiry to the reasons derived from the health. Since acute disease recurrence means medical examinations on should not waste time in collecting details of conservative states and should conform himself to the presentations of the disease. Unbettedly, the physician should not miss the pictures of a disease and its effects on the whole persons. Therefore, in acute disease, the physician should be able to collect two important aspects of the case: presentative complaints, which can be divided into four components. This is the location, senses, modalities, and controls. The future at a general level changes on the physician's plans like opens stairs, thermal reductions, replace balls, movements, etc. B has changes on the mental plans like irritability, confusion, fear, resistance, etc. As talked about topic, last information is the about information forms the basic of treatment of acute disease. Contrary to general beliefs, the treatment of acute disease is a much aided by homeopathic mode of treatment because the main patients and pictures remains clear to the patients and the physicians. Hence, difficulties in forming a totality and selecting a remedy are minimized in individual and respiratory types are acute disease which are cases by unfavorable conditions and metrics or the terrorism's influenza displaces the calcularies includes into the based on the above scheme. In the case of an admitting type of acute disease, the physicians no doubt take into account all the changes at a sector and general levels, but he soon discovers that there is a lackness in the presentations of case being reported to him one after another. After attending a few cases, he finds that other reporting cases present no new symptoms or they present with a slight variations while they repeat the same manifestations and expressions. At that stage, the physician has obtained a total pictures of the experience disease. This total picture is the totality of the evidence disease and suggests a remedy which can be used for the treatments of all the cases of that area presenting with the same complaints. These medicines can also be given as a preventive medicines. This type of medicines, which is based on the totality of the episode disease, is known as a genius epidemics. In all types of acute disease that is endures, stress, and epidemic, the obtained information is made use of to form an acute totality so that selections of the remedy easy. Second topic is acute totality. Actually, total is a sum of total of the characteristics symptoms experienced during the course of an acute disease or acute exacerbations of a chronic disease. The characteristic symptoms may be expressed on the affecting part or the levels of the sector and at the level of general mental or physical. For example, during attacks of decrease the character characteristics symptoms at a levels of a sector could be of the changes in color, quantity, smells, or it is of the stool, along with the presence or absence or a various symptoms or pains with the stool. The characteristic symptoms for the general levels could be changes in the minds or body during the acute attack of diarrhea like irritability, increased sweets, etc. Characteristic general symptoms during the acute attacks are basically the continuous symptoms and are also called fixed generals. They are called fixed generals because the general symptoms expressed during acute disease do not change or change slowly compared to the fast changing symptoms of the sector or the effects was while forming to a totally accurate cases. But the characteristics sectors in general should be taken into consideration. Therefore, excess totality means the sums totals of a characteristics symptoms at the levels of a sectors and generator expressed during the actual stage of a lineage. It can be summarized as the mentions below. Actual totality sectors totality characteristics, patterns, locations, sensories, motivations, plus fixed general totality mentally or and the physical symptoms or confirmation. B is a chronic disease. Chronic diseases are those that arise from chronic emissions. They are indices in nature. In other words, the spreads gradually without being noticed. Their progress increases and causes harmful effects. Sometimes their origins cannot be tracked. They make a continuous use with or without tolerances, internal or external expressions. When left to themselves, they always go on increasing growing swords, not notwithstanding, notwithstanding the best mental and corporal regiments they end either with a suitable similar remedy or with the end of life itself. Every chronic disease has a 5 phases, that is, first is assuring, second is a beginning symptoms, third is a compromise functions, fourth is a determinant functions, six is end status. Investigations of a chronic disease must be done in details and should be thorough and searching as possible. The details of presence, components, past history, mental, physicals, characteristic, and family history should be taken into account while taking a chronic case. The majority of chronic cases are reported after different modes of unsuccessful treatment, which most of the time damage the disease conditions. Therefore, a detailed history of treatment should also be taken. Its effects must be noted down carefully in such cases. C is a one-side disease. One-side disease are those chronic disease is presence which only one or two principal symptoms of experience almost all there. One should not there something due to lack of observation on the parts of the physicians as well as the patients. The disease is made one-sided. Therefore, only after a careful examination of the patients, this term may be applied with the full declarations. When a disease actually is present with a few symptoms, the available symptoms are to be taken into account for the selections of remedy. The changes after administration of these remedies should be observations carefully in the subsequent visits of the patients, and further medicine should be selected based on the availability totality. In a one-side cases, the case taking does not end at one sittings, but it requires detailed inquiries. It is a subsequent visits. Case successive is the examinations of the patients and successive administrations of the most suitable homeopathic remedies has to be controlled. Still, health is restored completely. Next is in fact, it is observed in practice that the individualized system of examinations of the patient suggested by Hahnemann is the most suitable method for counting the considerations of the person with his mismatching backgrounds. In one side's cases, treatments can be started with intimate anti mistakes or considerations of materials. Okay, thank you.